This is FightFans Radio.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live, another episode of BJJ Addict Radio. I'm the host, Real DWC. We got Jerr P. He'll be joining in a split second, and then we'll be on to our episode with our guest, Mr. Denny Prokopos. I apologize. I'm really horrible, as you all should know by now. I got to take some courses, perhaps, to learn how to pronounce everyone's name. But the man is 10th Planet, first ever black belt from Eddie Bravo. So amazing American no-gi competitor. And man, it's going to be a great episode tonight. He's coming off a very good super fight with Justin Rader. And we'll talk to him about that and how he's feeling and what's coming up for him and what he wants to accomplish and how his school's doing in San Francisco, I believe it is. So get ready for that. Also, we got a lot of big things coming up. As far as for the BJJ Addict and BJJ Addict Radio, for those who haven't subscribed to our mailing list, we have it now on the main website. So go to the homepage. To the right, there'll be a subscribe box. Just type in your name and email address, and you can keep in touch with our radio episodes. We'll email those to you. Of course, our write-ups and videos that we do. So on that page, we also have a Jeff Glover case study done by Daniel Fagella, a great writer. He's now helping out with BJJ Addict as far as some writing, and man, what a great read that is. So jump on there and check it out. That's bjjaddicttv.com, bjjaddicttv.com. All right, perfect. And what else is going on? Next week, we'll have a dual episode with Samuel Braga and Anthony Parrish from the UFC. He's also, I believe, Australia's first ever black belt. Hello.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Good. How are you?
Hanging out.
Yeah. Very staticky, my friend. Maybe
I can hear that.
Turn your volume down.
Yeah.
There we go. So, what are you up to?
I'll come back in a second.
All right, he is left the building. That's all right. We'll get Jerr back in a second. He's got to fix some things up. He's having some technical problems apparently, and we'll figure that out, folks. So everybody out there listening, sorry about that. Last week we had Trumpet Dan Lukehart. Great interview we did with him, so don't forget to go check that out, of course. And the week before that with Rodrigo Munruco and AJ Zuza, and the week before that, of course, with Stefan Casting, which was our most successful radio interview to date. So it's going to be quite a blast coming up. We got some of the biggest names in the game coming up very soon. I know I'm repeating myself a bit, but I apologize. Big news coming that's been going on right now. I saw out in Europe, IBJJF had a couple tournaments with the Rome International, and the first ever, I believe it was the first ever European No-Gi Championships, and it looked like Carrol snagged a couple more medals. He moved up a weight division. Didn't seem to bother him too much. AJ Agamazar, first black belt, he got a gold and a couple other medals between the 2 days. And out in Arizona, UFC lightweight champion Benson Henderson snagged the gold medal. Man, what a double, like shot, takedown, controlled. Uh, just unbelievable. So shout out to him. I like him more. I like the way he fights BJJ better than his MMA fighting. I'm a big fan of his. So very cool. And yeah, so a lot of things to keep your eye on. I don't know if everyone's been on Facebook, BJJ ADDICT TV. If you just type in BJJ ADDICT, it'll pop up. Nice big silver logo. Today we posted a thing about share this and like if you want to see Justin Rader in the ADCCs, and it took off like wildfire. So a lot of people are on that movement right now. You'll see it all over Facebook. Get Justin Rader invited here. He deserves to be there. If you're a fan of grappling and a fan of his, it'll be quite cool to see him in the tournament. So I'm hoping he gets there. He was there before, and he barely puts on a boring fight. So it'll be nice to see him in this tournament. All right, so a couple more minutes, folks, until our guest calls in. Usually during this time, me and Jerr P have a lot of banter back and forth, keep you entertained a little bit more. But for now, you're gonna have to listen to me blabber on and on a bit. Our guest Denny today. Oh, before I get on to our guest for a second, quickly, this weekend, Five Grappling Ontario happened, and uh, the event was mind blowing from all the feedback, I've gotten, and there's nothing short of one of those tournaments that are like seems like once in a lifetime it happens, but they're going to keep going and bring events all over North America. So if you're in certain parts, you'll be lucky enough to have a tournament stop by. They had some super fights, Darson Hemmings versus uh, Gianni Grippo. So, world champion brown belt versus Pan Am champion brown belt, and Darson Hemmings also world champion at purple. So they had a match. It was very close. Darson Hemmings lost 2-0. He didn't seem to agree to the 2 points. Is like off a guard polling situation. So uh, the match went the time. It was 2-0. I found it a little too short for those type of guys. Wish they had maybe a 10-minute match or no subs match personally. So hopefully there's gonna be a rematch between them two, because it was just starting to get going once the buzzer ended. And you know, uh, yeah, it was really unfortunate. Michael Lira Jr. Won his super fight by choke from the back, and man, it seemed like quite the exciting setup.
Hello.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
Hello.
There we go. You sound much better this time than before. I was gonna I was gonna punch you in your face next time I saw you.
Yeah. I'm practicing my vocal
Yeah,
cords.
that's better. Yeah, so that's perfect. I'll just probably maybe just speak up a little louder and than usual, and then it'll be perfect.
Let's do it.
All right. So our guest will join us very soon. I'll fill you in. I was just basically babbling on and on. I was just talking about the five grappling that just happened, and Darson Hemmings losing only by 2 points against Gianni Grippo. It was a great match. If you got to see it, it's all over YouTube.
Yeah, I watched it. Didn't
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there with the point system. Apparently they changed it last minute. So
Yeah, it was quite weird. All right, let's welcome our guest, Denny. Can you pronounce your last name for me? I messed it up when I tried to say it.
Prokopos.
Damn, that's so much better than how I pronounced it. I apologize.
It's all good.
All right. So welcome to BJJ Addict Radio, and thank you very much for taking time out to be on our show.
For sure, man.
Perfect. I'm the host, Real DWC, and we also got Jerr LP. So there is two of us. We usually go back and forth asking questions, and we'll just make it kind of like a nice casual conversation.
Cool, man. Cool.
All right. So I was just wondering, I'd like to start off the show with maybe like
We're live right now? Just wondering, we're live?
Yeah, we are live.
Cool.
Yeah, we're definitely live. We got the listeners tuned in. I was just wondering if you could maybe just give us a little backdrop of, maybe we could start in how you fell into the 10th Planet and how you got your start around that time and what made you enjoy no-gi so much.
Well, I started wrestling when I was 14. As far as like how I figured out about 10th Planet, let's see. Well, I knew who Eddie was because he was the Pride 10 commentator in KOTC. He won the ADCC trials in 2002. I think it was like September of 2002, and then he qualified for the main event. I was, I'm a jiu-jitsu geek. Even like when I was like 12 and 13, I was like all over the forums and I was paying attention to who was winning. And I thought it was cool that he won. I didn't know him. And then he beat Hoyler, and I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. And then I went and I took a private with him when I was 15.
Wow. And how, let's start there. How was, you get in there and you take your first private, how was it? And since you knew a lot, it's been 3 years, you were already reading about the sport and knowing about him. How was that feeling of being with I guess you could kind of, I guess he is a legend in the sport to some degree for sure. So how was it being beside a man like Eddie Bravo?
He was cool. He's just a normal dude. He's a normal dude that's like funny, and he's really good at teaching. He, like when I first met him, I was like, wow, he's really good at teaching. He broke it down. He really grabbed my attention. It really made sense to me, and it was like very, very broken down, very systematic. And I like the names, and I like the fact that it was like no gi. It made sense to me. Like it made sense to me then, and it makes so much more sense to me now. Like I'm still learning the system, like, and the system's still, evolving.
Yeah, how important do you think it is that the system keeps evolving? And from what I see, it seems like everyone involved in 10th Planet kind of has a say and actually has a chance to add on with what other people are learning. Am I correct with that, or am I off?
Yeah, dude, it grows just naturally. It's just a very natural thing. Everybody's got their own thing. Everybody's good at their own thing. I'm good at guillotines. I've, good wrestling. That's what I bring to the table. And, everybody brings their thing, but the basics, it's Eddie's thing. It's Eddie's techniques, and he's very open-minded. He tells us to study everything. We don't like discriminate against any of the styles. We study everything. We're open-minded about that, and that's because of Eddie. Like straight up, that's not me. I didn't come up with that. That's him. He taught me that, and I feel like that's why 10th Planet has it creates a good environment for learning. Especially if you're like a guy like me that likes to learn. I like to learn. That's why I got into jiu-jitsu. I like to learn. I like the technique. I'm a geek, I like to study. Makes sense.
Through your experience without training in the gi, do you feel that maybe the gi would help your style at the slightest, or do you strictly 100%
incorrect?
Train no gi?
Incorrect. I started training with the gi. I started training with Charles Gracie when I was 12. Trained with the gi till I was 16 or 17, on and off. Every now and then, I still Rolf Kayotera asks me to train with him in the gi. Every now and then, I'll train in it, but I still like, it's not my thing. Is it fun to play with? Yes. Do I see that there's some value to it? Yes. You know, I'm a no-gi guy. I love no-gi. That's my thing. That just makes sense to me. That I have interest in no-gi grappling since I went that direction. I got good at that, and I'm thinking, you know, like MMA Jiu-Jitsu. That's how Eddie always has us thinking. Like, can the guy punch you in the head? You know, because like I train MMA. You know, I train dudes for MMA. You know, and I'm not against the gi, dude. You know, it's a personal thing. If you want to train in the gi, that's totally cool. I'm totally cool with it. I support you. I have students of mine that they train at my school. They train at gi schools. I'm cool with it. You know, but I'm a real 10 Planet dude. I have a no gi school. It's gonna stay that way, and you know, I'll put it on every now and then. I don't diss it. I see it has its place. I respect tradition, and that's that.
Perfect. I was just wondering actually how it is to be a school owner and a competitor still at such a high level. You know, there's always arguments and people talking crap about, you know, once someone opens up a school, they think their level's going to drop. Can you just explain to us how it has affected you and if it even bothers your training schedule or keeping such a high level?
I mean, there's times when you have to decide who you're going to focus on, yourself or the students. But I mean, I feel like I have a good balance of that since like, how about, I was 20 when I opened up the school, and I feel like now from a lot of trial and error, from a lot of mistakes, I've learned how to balance my time better. Like, that's what it is. It's just all about balancing your time. You know where you want to put your energy, and you know, now I can afford to pay people. Before I couldn't afford to pay people for the first 5 years. I didn't have the money to. Now I do. I can afford to pay people, thank God, and all I can just focus on is just teaching jiu-jitsu and training, and that's all I really do right now. All I really do is just focus on teaching jiu-jitsu, training jiu-jitsu, teaching yoga, training yoga. That's all I really do, and And I tell, like, my brother runs my business. I just tell Jimmy what to do, and my brother Denny Prokopos, he's the man. You know, he does it. He runs my business really good. So all I have to worry is just about just training and teaching and just making sure everything is on point.
Wicked. I was just wondering since you are so involved and obviously a school owner, and I was just wondering, what's the biggest misconceptions that people do have about the 10th Planet system? And I just wonder if you could maybe put an end and kind of realize that it's maybe not so different than what people think.
Is this Dave or
Yep.
Josh?
This is Dave.
Okay, Dave. Man, I don't know. There's a lot of misconceptions. Well, a lot of people say that we don't have any world-class competitors, and I'm not trying to, you know, like, sound arrogant. I just want to point out results. So a lot of people don't mention this, but when I was, you know, I'm the first brown belt world champion at 162 IBJJF. And then I took third 6 weeks after I got my black belt at the black belt IBJJF, right? I haven't competed in Abu Dhabi, so like that's the biggest tournament I haven't gone to. And I won the FILA Worlds in 2010, and then I took second in 2009. And then like my guy Adam Saknoff, he won Blue Belt Worlds IBJJF, and then he took third at the Purple Belt Worlds, and then he won the ADCC trials this year, but he has to pull out because he tore his ACL. And then we have a bunch of good dudes, but like no one really knows their facts. Like a lot of people are like, oh, they don't have any world-class competitors. Yeah, we do, dude. I'm a world-class competitor. You can't knock me. You know, Vinny represents 10th Planet. That's a world-class competitor. He won Abu Dhabi, and in 2011 final match, him versus Fabricio Wardum, he hit the basic path to get the points. What's the basic path? It's going mission control, zombie, clearing the neck, leg over the face, and as the way to guide for counter, he rolls over his shoulder, but you control, you get on top for 2 points. That's how he got the sweep, and then he avoided getting shoulder locked by Wardum because he has balls of steel and he could just take it. and like, you know, he won and he represents 10th Planet. Like, people don't know their facts. I think it's more like people need to get educated now on like, okay, yeah, we're doing stuff. Like, a lot of people, they just want to hate. That's cool, dude. If you don't like my jiu-jitsu, that's cool. If you don't like me, that's cool. If you think I suck, that's cool. But just know your facts. That's how I feel about it. You know, and I'm not trying to be like, I didn't want to bring up my accomplishments or my students, but I have to. Like, it sucks that, you know, you kind of, like, I don't want to bring it up, but like, I kind of have to, because like, people don't know. They're always, they don't have any world class. Yeah, we do. And then look, Amir Alam, you know, he trains, he's a brown belt under Eddie. He's going to do the heavyweight division this year in Abu Dhabi, you know, and he's got a shot at it. He's a beast, you know. Like, we have guys that are doing things, man. Like, we have guys going for it. You know, I mean, we're not Alliance or Gracie Baja, like, on that, like, high-level competitive yet, but, you know, that takes time. Those teams, they've been around for, like, 20-plus years, you know. They've been around since the 70s, man, and it's 2013. We only got started in 2003. You know, there's a lot of time. There's a lot of things that need to be figured out, too. We're still figuring things out. We're not done. There's still, like, a lot of work left to do, man. Like, when I'm looking at this right now, like, I didn't realize how much work is, like, still required, and, like, there's still a lot of things that need to happen.
At what point did you decide? Yeah, it's all good. At what point did you decide that, you know, this is what you wanted to do? And for the people that want to make a life out of jiu-jitsu, is there a smart way to prepare to make a life out of this?
Yes. I think there is. I think there is. You know, so far I think there is. So I started training jiu-jitsu when I was 12, right? But I started training martial arts when I was 4. Started with TKD. I knew I wanted to become like a competitive fighter and a world champion when I was 12, and that I wanted to have my own academy. I told my dad, I was like, you know, and back then I was training in the gi. I'm like, Dad, my outfit is going to be gi top and gi pants and a belt. I told him, because like I remember like we were at my dad's restaurant, and like we're just, because he owns a pizza restaurant, we were just talking. And, you know, that, I guess, so when I was 12, I knew I wanted to be a jiu-jitsu like instructor and competitor. And then you said, is there a smart way to do this, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is, but like you're gonna make mistakes along the way. There's like a lot of stuff you don't know about, because like there's just certain things you gotta experience and you gotta foresee yourself. You have to be really honest with yourself. Like, as far as like the right way to do this, what do you mean? Having a school, competing, what aspect? Like, you know?
Just you know, not like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but like making as minimal mistakes as possible along the way.
And this is Josh, right?
Jerr.
Jared, sorry, I'm putting your name to your voice just so I know who I'm talking to. You know what I'm saying? Because like I don't see your face, so I'm just trying to figure out who I'm talking to. Sorry, repeat that again. I'm sorry. Repeat what you just said again.
Yeah, just like, is there, like, what path did you take to be as successful as you are? And, you know, because it's such a new sport that nobody really knows how to prepare for, you know, a successful career in the sport.
All right, so it's Jared, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So I like that question. So here's the thing. You don't know because it's, like, so new. So you have to be, like, really flexible. Like, you have to constantly, like, tweak your approach. That's one thing. Okay, but, like, let me tell you what I've done, or at least what I think I've done. Number one, I knew that I wanted this. I knew that I wanted this more than I wanted anything. I knew that I wanted this more than, like, so I've broken both of my ankles, torn both of my knees, like ACL, MCL, and then my medial meniscus dislocated my shoulder, staph, shingles, and then I broke my neck not that long ago too, and I came back, and then I threw out my back multiple times. So like, there's gonna be some serious shit that you're gonna go through, dude. Straight up, you just gotta accept that shit. Are you down to go through that? Cool. You are? You're not? Oh, okay, cool. You got to figure out if you're going to go through that. And then you're going to go through some like heartbreaking defeats. You just are. And then you're going to think that you're really prepared sometimes. You're going to think that you're really prepared and you're going to show up, you're going to feel really great. And someone's just going to fucking light your ass up one day. And you think, you did everything you could. You think everything is right. But like, no, just not going your way. You just got to be ready to deal with that. You got to be ready to deal with that kind of shit. And then you got to be ready to deal with politics. Politics, they're just a real thing. They're just real in everything, man. And, you're just trying to train jiu-jitsu. You're just trying to learn, and you just want to be the best or whatever you want to do. But, you're going to go through that too. There's just a bunch of shit that comes with this, and that's just real. Another thing is you got to seek the best knowledge, the highest knowledge, and I feel like when I started training with Eddie, I had hit like a jackpot in terms of like, the knowledge that the knowledge that I tapped into, like the knowledge that I tapped into is ridiculous. Really, when you think about it, like look at who I've trained with. So I started off training with Charles Gracie, right? And then I started in that time period. I got to train with Hoist. I got to train with Henzo. I got to train with Holker, and Leao Teixeira came there. He did a seminar. And there was all these other good instructors there. And then I started training with Eddie Bravo, and that was just amazing. He just took me to he took me on a whole nother planet, baby. He took me to the 10th planet, And then, but before that, I trained with Marco Nascimento too. But I started wrestling, right? But I went to Jay Robinson Wrestling Camp when I was a kid. And then so I started training with Eddie when I was 15. But when I was 18, I started training with Jake Shields. But before that, I started training with Darren Wenoyama too. And then when I was training with Jake, I got exposed to guys like Gilbert Melendez, Danny Marks, and like some really good guys from Caesars Academy. And, then I made the connection with Kyle. I trained with Kyle, right? And then like I got to train with Samir Chantry, Flavio America, Shingo, another good black belt from Brazil. And then, I got to train with Ricardo Labore. I went to American Top Team. I got to train with, a couple of Machado brothers too. Hagen, Jean-Jacques. I trained with Jean-Jacques a lot, and I trained with Jean-Jacques a lot for this last camp. Hagen, I love Hagen. He's a really nice dude. He came to my school. He did 2 seminars. And I trained with Marcelo, And then when I was in Abu Dhabi, I got to train with all these different dudes. So it's like, I always seek knowledge. I'm always seeking, and I don't think I know it. I got to train with Hickson this year, too. I got to train with Hickson. This past Saturday, I got to take a seminar with, like, 2 of Hickson's black belts. I'm always seeking knowledge. You got to seek knowledge, dude, and like and then another thing that you got to do is you got to have something like you can develop your mind. It could be like visualization, meditation, yoga, some like positive affirmations, hypnosis, self-hypnosis, whatever, dude. You need something to like turn the bullshit off in your head and how to like deal with all the shit that's going on around you. That's what you need. You need that. So you got the desire, right? You got the desire. You want to be the best, right? You got to know that you got to handle all this bullshit that's going to come with it, and then your body on the line, and then seeking the highest knowledge, and then some kind of mental type of practice, and then you got to look at your friends, you got to make sure you're assessing your habits, you don't want to become that dude that's popping pills or, doing other kind of shit, at least I don't want to be that.
No, I agree with you. It's back to David. You just named a list of a who's who in the sport, and how important is it to get out of natural habit of just 4 or 5 guys, always the same partners? How important is it to be able to train with multiple people with different styles and beliefs and thoughts?
It's good, man, because like that way you're not trapped in a box. You're really out in the world, and you're seeing things, and you're making your own conclusions, and you're breaking limiting concepts because you're being introduced to things that you didn't know existed.
Nice. What was one of your favorite techniques, perhaps, that you learned, not from Eddie, but on these travels and meetings of people What was something that you just saw and you thought it was the coolest thing, and it helped your game a bit?
I can give you, dude, I can go on forever.
Well, we'll give a couple perhaps, and maybe why it blew your mind, if it was the way they showed it, or they're just so good at it, or they hit it live on you, like.
Okay, I'll give you a couple lists.
Okay.
So obviously Eddie's amazing, and I've learned all his awesome stuff. And I always like to give props to my master, because that's my master. You know, that's who got me to where I am. That's who's responsible for my success. He's been guiding me since I was 15. That's really important to know. So I was important to give like props to your people, dude, and like acknowledge. You know, like a lot of people today, they don't do that shit. Like they forgot that. And then there's a lot of people now today that, you know, they didn't come from like my era. My era has more respect than today. That I think. But you know, well, like when I first started training in jiu-jitsu, that's what I mean. But like, so for example, Jake Shields, amazing, like guard passing pressure, just like his concepts on like guard passing pressure is really amazing. And like his thoughts on the mental and like work ethic is amazing. His straight foot lock is amazing. Guillotine, Kaio Terra guard, guard passing pressure that he has in like tweaks. He has a really nice guillotine, all his foot locks, you know, his 50-50. Jean-Jacques has like the ability to solve any problem at will that you have, and like just amazing technique. Like one thing that he taught me, like, you know, watch the match between me and Justin Rader, even though I lost, you know how I was recovering guard? Jean-Jacques taught me that, and how I got the triangle, like Jean-Jacques showed me to bring the bottom leg through, and like how to cross face and how to create space and how to go to the triangle. Darren Wanoyama taught me my pretzel grip. Darren Wanoyama fights in the UFC. He was a friend of mine. You know, he taught me a lot of stuff. He has really good wrestling, really good guillotines, and he has a very, very, very high fight IQ. Oh, you know who I got to train with that I think is really amazing, and like a lot of people like don't know about this guy, but like he's really one of the best Gracies ever, is Carly Gracie. He lives in San Francisco, and he's Clark's father. He's the last guy to be trained by Carlos, you know? He has like an amazing understanding of like the principles and the physics behind jiu-jitsu.
That's pretty awesome.
Higan Machado, amazing guard, passing pressure and concepts. Ricardo Laborio, very, 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 very good coach, understanding of like the mental of everybody and what motivates them. And he has like he's solid everywhere. You know, he has a good rape choke. He rape choked me. Hickson's amazing, man. Like he sees the overall picture in a way that other people don't. And his concepts on connection. Who else, man? Marcelo's amazing. You know, like I study him all the time. I got to take like 2 seminars with him. I guess like that's like mainly what stands out to me.
Those very particular, and it must be awesome to just be able to soak up some of that, because you know, during some of my younger years, I've had a chance to train with some good people, whether it be seminar or they stop by, and you know, I wish I could have soaked up that much knowledge. I was a little white belt, and a lot just fell through my my hands, and I didn't write anything down or understand that much. So
awesome. I'm gonna give you a tip right now. I do this every day. I do this every day. All right.
All right.
Do you have an iPhone?
I do.
Awesome. So you have a recorder there. It's on your first page. So like I record everything, and here's what I do. I like number one, like I'll give everybody my whole entire process. If you're serious, I'll give this to you. You know.
Definitely.
Here's what I do. I like right after I get done, right? So I'm driving. I turn my stereo off. I just put my recorder on. I just start talking to the recorder. And I label it rolling reflection, and it already has the date and the time, you know, but sometimes I label it with who specifically. And I just break down the roles, like what I did good, right? What like broke through, what I got tapped with, like how someone was giving me problems, how my cardio felt, what thoughts were going through my head, like if I had any like negative thoughts and I want to try and like eliminate them, you know, or like overcome them. And like so usually like the night before I like to study like some kind of technique and I'll go for it, and sometimes like it'll come out, sometimes it won't, but if it does, like I'll make a note of like what came out, you know, stuff like that. And but it, and you'll notice that you're talking differently. Like as time goes on, you're gonna notice that you're talking differently. Like you're more fluid, you're breaking things down, you know, and you're gonna become more direct. Like I've been writing since I was like 12 years old. I've been keeping a journal, you know, and I have so many journals of like everything. We were taught that when I went to Jay Robinson wrestling camp, we were taught to journal everything.
That's awesome.
If you could go back in time, this is Jerr, by the way. If you could go back in time, how would you change your approach to how you trained, or was everything that you did back then, you know, essential to your success now?
I think everything that I did then is essential to my success today, because I am who I am based on my experience, not based on what people told me or what I read in a book. I am what I am because of the actions that I took. But if I was to change anything, right, I would like to have been a little smarter with my body and pull myself back so I don't have the injuries that I have. Because I'm 25 and I have a lot of fucking injuries. It's just the reality of it, dude. You know, and you know, for the most part, I've overcome a lot of things, but like, you know, sometimes you feel it. Sometimes you feel it, and you can tell there's a difference between now and 3 years ago, you know. But you do what you can, though. You do what you can. You don't give up. You do what you can, and you don't give up. At least that's what I tell myself when I'm going through shit that I don't like. That's what I tell myself.
Well, I think it's a smart motto to go by. We haven't touched on this yet. I'm sure you've explained it before, but still, perhaps I didn't catch hearing your thoughts on it. I was just wondering what it means to you to be the first ever black belt under the 10th Planet and Eddie Bravo, and what that means. Yes.
Dude, it's an honor, man. It's an honor. That was something that I really wanted. That was something that I had a big desire for. You know, I love him. I love Eddie like a father, dude. He's been supporting me for a long time. It's not, you know, like, put Eddie's fame aside and all the thing on the whatever people want to think, dude. That dude's guided me, dude, and like I love him as a person, dude. Like, it's just I wouldn't be who I am. He helped me bust through a lot of shit. You know, like there's a lot of things you have to overcome, and having a guy like that as your teacher, as your mentor, someone like that. Like Eddie's hella real, man. Like, you know, right now I'm talking to you. This is who I am. There's no front here, dude. There's no front here. It's the same thing with him. That's who he is. He gave me the courage to be that person. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude's on the podcast all over speaking his mind. He doesn't hold a thought. He is who he is. In that moment, you know, you're getting what you're getting. It's real. And I respect that. Like, you know, this is like a lot deeper, you know, before, you know, in the beginning, it's just like about jiu-jitsu, right? Just about jiu-jitsu. But like time goes on, you know, you're a kid, now you're an adult, you're a man, you have a business, you're creating, you know, you're contributing, and, you know, there's a lot more to it. You know, like you got to understand the people that you align yourself with, man. It can either make you better, it can make you worse. And like with him, we have the right vibe. That's why, like, you know, I think we're on the same vibe. You know, we have the same frequency. But it means so much, man. You know, but I'm just trying to make that dude proud. I think it sucks about losing, man, too. You know, when I lose, like, I'm like, fuck, man, I lost it. And, it sucks for, like, when I think about it, that's what bothers me more for Eddie than for anybody, because I don't really care what other people think about me. I'm past that, you know, like, you come to a point to where, like, you either care or you don't. You just gotta get past it. You're like, I don't care what people think about me.
Yeah. Speaking of a loss, I was just wondering, because I mean, like you said, you felt worse for your coach than you, and if people don't do grappling, they can't really comprehend what that means. But I'm sure most of us all had that feeling at once or twice. You've recently just had a super fight with Justin Rader. Uh, how did you feel going into that match? Obviously, it didn't go your way, but I mean, fighting a guy like Justin Rader, how pumped were you? And you know, was there anything that you just thought, shit, that was my moment. I should have sealed the deal, or you know, would you like to ever fight him again, or is it just another match and, you know, oh well type of thing?
I'll break it all down, man. I was really happy that this happened because, like, on January, like, 20th, or, like, somewhere around that time, I found out that, like, my C3, C4, C5, C6, C7 were out of my neck. I was starting to develop cranial stenosis, you know? So then, like a couple weeks, you know, Derek from Omaha, he's like, hey, I'm putting this tournament together. Like, you want to do it? And I'm like, you know what, man? Yeah, I'm going to do it. I just believed my neck would get better, you know, and it did. And I did whatever I could do. Like, in terms of, like, who's I could have trained with in that whole training camp, man, I got to train with so many good guys. I felt so prepared. My strength and conditioning was so good. It's never been better. My mental felt so good, never been better. And my neck felt 100%. My neck felt 100%. So, like, there's no excuse. Like, the neck recovered, right? And, you know, I get there. I feel good, you know, but when I started, like, the climate made me feel a little different. The one thing that didn't feel good was I don't do good in warm weather. Like, I just don't. And, you know, just the one thing that I felt really off and why I think I gassed in that match, aside from his pressure, because I'm not trying to take anything away from him, man. He deserves his victory. He beat me. I feel like that humidity kind of bothered me. Aside from that, man, like, I felt really good, but it was really weird, man. You know, I hadn't competed in a year and a half, so, I mean, I need to be more active, but that's because of my injuries. It wasn't because I didn't want to compete. If I could, I'd compete every month. If I could, I'd compete every month, dude. Like, I'm down to do it, you know, especially, like, now that I don't have to think about running my business, like, and signing people up and talking to people and selling gear and all this stuff. It's easy. All I got to do is just train. But, man, I felt really good. I felt really confident. And I'll tell you this, there were very few people that tapped me, you know, and I swear to God, I felt more confident than ever. But, you know, that just goes to show how much of a beast he is, and, you know, and how much I need to step my shit up. That's what that means. I need to step my shit up. You know, like, as hard as I'm training, as good as I'm doing, like, I need to step my shit up. That's the reality behind it, you know. I need to step my shit up. I need to keep competing. I need to, you know, cut weight a little better, you know, and, you know, I gotta fix some things. But I feel I still want to compete. You know, I wanted to do this I wanted to do Gracie Worlds, you know, and I was talking to Rose Gracie, and she told me, she's like, if anybody comes through, we'll let you know. But no one was in my division. I was going to do Gracie Worlds, you know, and no one came through, so I didn't do it. I wanted to do submission only. You know, it's kind of hard when you go from, like, training submission only 20-minute matches to, like, a 5-6 minute match. It's a little different mentality, and that's what I want to do, really, you know. But, you know, props to him. He beat me. You know, respect to him. And we were talking about this. I like Justin Rader. He's hella cool. I hope he gets an invite to ADCC because, like, straight up, when you look at Rader, dude, aside from winning the 2010 Worlds at Black and taking second the last 2 years, at this point, just look, he beat me, he beat Barrett, he beat Jeff Glover, and he beat Ryan Hall. The only dudes he hasn't beaten is Cobrinha and Rafael Mendes, but he's pretty much beaten every American dude, so, you know. He's legit.
Agree.
Jiu-jitsu is mostly physical training, the body to do things and to react to things. How much of your training do you take to train your mind?
Oh, dude, I train a lot. Like, I do yoga every day. Like, I'm a certified Kundalini yoga instructor. I've spent like a lot. So when I was 15, I started learning about visualization. Right. I read this book called The Mental Edge by Kenneth Baum, and it was talking about positive affirmations, visualization, performance cues, posture, breathing, and goal setting, pretty much basic sports psychology stuff, right? But I always had an interest in like metaphysics. I have a big interest in metaphysics. Like from a kid, like when I was a kid, I'm born into a Christian family. I was into Christianity, right? But then I started studying all these other religions, all these metaphysics, right? And I like studying quantum mechanics too, because quantum mechanics, in my opinion, is like blends science and like spirituality. So like I really like studying all that kind of stuff. And yoga, I do yoga every day. I love Kundalini. Like I'm gonna actually next Monday I'm gonna start teaching at my school, like officially. Like we're going live, Universal Mind Yoga. It's that's going live. I love that, dude. I love that stuff. That like aside from jiu-jitsu and wrestling, but I love all the martial arts. But like on the daily, I train jiu-jitsu and wrestling because like that's what 10th Planet is. It's a mixture of jiu-jitsu and wrestling. That's what it is. And then you mix that in with yoga, it makes for a lot more like complete martial art. And like I don't know, I got to the point to where too where like I felt like I needed something a little more in my life than just combat arts. You need something a little more, especially like when you're hurt and like you're depressed and there's not that much you can do. Might as well learn how to stretch, heal the body, strengthen your mind, strengthen your spirit. Why not, dude? And Hickson was like the inspiration for that. You guys have seen Choke, right?
Yeah, great movie.
Dude, one of the best jiu-jitsu documentaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? What do you guys think about it? Tell me what you thought about Choke.
I thought it was very interesting. I'm a little bit younger and missed the wave of the aura of Hickson. I had to go back and relive it. Like, it's kind of like the legend of Tupac for some of these rap fans. But
I get you.
Really,
I totally get what you're saying. Totally.
Yeah. So I found the documentary very interesting, and when he started, his breathing thing, which is obviously like a huge part of that film, and that one scene is very. I think everyone remembers that one scene. It looked like there was an alien in his stomach.
Yeah.
If he says it's important, it must have been important. So he was a little ahead of the game.
Totally. He's still ahead of the game now, dude. Like I went to a seminar, but his seminar. You know what I loved about Hickson's seminar?
Go on.
I learned a lot of cool things, but it also confirmed that I'm on with a lot of stuff, and that like Eddie's like for example, he showed the pyramid. That's what Eddie tapped out Hoyler with. He showed the pyramid. He showed overhooks. He showed locking the shoulder as the correct way to armbar. I was the only black belt that did it right, that showed the armbar right. I remember that. You don't forget something like that. My jiu-jitsu knowledge is very much on point. That's what probably, aside from the fact that, because I fought Crone. I fought Crone 5 times, dude. I know Hickson. Like, I had Hickson on the opposite end of me. Like, you're 15. Like, you're fighting your son's idol. That's crazy, dude. Like, when I look back at that, that's like nuts. That was like that's a mind fuck right there. That's like, you know what I'm saying? You got Hickson, like, you grew up idolizing Hickson, and you got Hickson on the other side cornering against you. You know what I'm saying?
Did Hickson have some sort of Darth Vader magic powers where he kind of just crushed his hands together and you were getting armbarred or choked or anything?
Nothing like that, dude. Nothing like that. But he's a lot. When I coach people now, he actually I kind of got this from him. And then Eddie does this, and then Mark Lehman does this. I think they're all great coaches. They're the loudest guy in the room when they're cornering. Man, that's so and so. You could hear it. When he was cornering Crone, he was speaking in Portuguese. But you could, that voice that pushes you. Actually, you know what? Because Hickson was there, I felt like I fought harder. I actually didn't feel like I was mind fucked. It was more like a joke, like I said that. But looking back, I actually feel like I fought harder because I fought to impress him. I wasn't just fighting, I was fighting, Crona's son. He's my opponent, but at the same time, Hickson's there. I want to impress Hickson. It just so happened that I'm fighting his son, right?
Absolutely. I was just wondering what you'd like to just maybe put it out here. We have some sort of magical power, this BJJ ADDICT Radio. Whoever tells us what their goals are, it happens. So list a couple goals you want to accomplish at black belt, and maybe what you want to do with your school.
That's a powerful suggestion, but you know what? I'm going to take it.
I'm telling you right now, we have a pretty good track record. Who was Keenan Cornelius a couple of years ago?
All right. He's good. He's making noise, dude. He's making noise.
We had him on a couple of years ago. Pre big noise banging.
Yeah, man. He's doing good, dude. Good for him. Respect. My goals, well, definitely win a black belt world title. Because, IBJJF, do it at Gracie Worlds. Why not win ADCC? And then I'm gonna take a shot at everything, dude. Whatever if you're gonna dream, you might as well dream big, right?
I agree.
Hopefully, one day I get invited to Metamoris. I want to compete in Metamoris. I want to do everything. Regardless of the rules. I'm gonna make this clear. I prefer submission only matches. It's like were you guys ever pro wrestling fans?
Oh, absolutely.
Totally. So you guys know the death matches, right?
Correct.
Exactly, dude. It's like ECW, dude. It's a fucking death match, dude. It's like to the death. You know what I'm saying? That's how kind of I think about it. But it's fun though, because it's cool, dude. Gracie World was this weekend, and then I competed in mine a couple weeks ago. I have a blast, dude. It's a war. You're going there, dude. One of two. Basically one of three things is gonna happen. You're either gonna tap the guy, he's gonna tap you, you're gonna drop. But the referee ain't gonna make no bad call, because the referee ain't there to make baseball signals, dude. And wear some weird suit or something like that. He's there to say start, stop, and pretty much make sure the right, rules are enforced. But that's it, dude. There's no referee's decision. There's no judge's decision. And I want to blow up my yoga program. I want to blow.
Yeah, go for it. Now's your time to plug everything.
Dude, I want to blow up my yoga program for sure. I want to do that, and then I want to keep spreading 10th Planet throughout the world. Spread Kundalini yoga throughout the world. What else? Hopefully one day I'm gonna have this mega center that I'm thinking. It's gonna have jiu-jitsu, yoga, everything. And I'm gonna get all these dope ass healers in there. I'm gonna do some cool stuff. That's one of my goals. I want to do that. And then eventually at some point, some books, some DVD I'm gonna make. And soon I'm gonna have my own online store. So I make 10th Planet gi pants, by the way. 10th Planet SF gi pants. 10th Planet SF. It's 10th Planet SF gi pants, and they're made by On the Mat. They're built to fight, so they're top quality. What else, man? And then obviously I want to keep producing champions. Oh, and I want to help, Eddie beat Hoyler, dude. That's really my biggest goal right now. That's really the most important thing.
That's gonna be
I'm gonna help him train.
That's gonna be a great match.
Yeah, dude, I'm super pumped about that, man. That's gonna be that's gonna be epic, dude. This is gonna be a big thing, and I really hope Metamoris does good, and I hope they make a lot of money too, And straight up, if you're a jiu-jitsu fan, I want to say this, support them, dude. Buy their pay-per-view, Because like you guys, you know, if I'm talking to the jiu-jitsu fans right now, if you guys want to see big matches, you guys want to see people get paid, you want to see the sport hit the next level, let's get this shit on TV, dude. Let's get this on TV. Pay for them, support them till they get their deal, till they break through, and then jiu-jitsu blows up. That's the next blow up. You know how Hoist had, you know how Hoist made that big jiu-jitsu explosion, you know, at the UFC.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, this will be like another one of those, dude. Once jiu-jitsu hits like cable TV or something like that. You know what I mean? Like basically, if you're a jiu-jitsu fan, you want as many people to do jiu-jitsu, you want as many people to support jiu-jitsu because we want to get this as big as possible. Because, like, think about it. It's good for everybody. Because, like, number one, like, when you're jiu-jitsu, like, you know, you're more healthier. You know, you're usually in better shape, and usually you're not that angry of a person. You have less stress, you know. There's a lot of good stuff, dude. So, like, might as well infect people with this jiu-jitsu bug, get jiu-jitsu as big as possible, and then, like, you know, like guys like you, dude, you guys do what you love. You guys support the sport. I know you guys want to see jiu-jitsu on TV. You guys, how badass would it be to see jiu-jitsu on ESPN?
It'd be ridiculous.
And you know what? I don't lack imagination. I think it can happen. Here's why I think it can happen. I think it can happen because because Metamoris has money behind them. You need Lorenzo Fertitta type money or some kind of big money. You want a big investor. You want someone with money. You know, if you look at how the UFC blew up in the history of the UFC was dying. The UFC was dying. They came in, they went 43 mil in the hole. Then they blew up. Now they're making not millions, billions, and they're on Fox. If you're on Fox, you got it on lock. You know what I'm saying? Imagine
For sure.
that. Imagine that. That should really, really be the goal. That should really be the goal because then everybody's doing jiu-jitsu. Then everybody's embraced jiu-jitsu. It's hit the masses. On some level, then it gets into the public school system. On some level, it gets into the public school system. After that, people will actually recognize that there's health benefits. It gives you more confidence. You know, you lose weight. It's like one of those yoga things. Like there's some serious benefits to this. But it's all about just people knowing, right? And you know, it gives you a healthier ego. Gives you a little more better twist on life. You know, like straight up, dude, if you're getting jacked on the mat, you can't lie. You know?
True.
Last question before we wrap up. What's the most difficult belt stage that you've ever had? Or, yeah.
The most difficult.
Yeah, what was the belt stage?
The most difficult belt stage? Well, the biggest challenges I have been a black belt, without a doubt. There's like no question about that. There's a couple.
Well, why black belt? Why is black belt the first one that you named and most difficult?
Because like you're just starting, and a lot of like there's a lot of shit that you learn that you're breaking through. A lot of things that you're learning that you're breaking through. You're competing. If you did what I did, you know, right after I got my black belt, I did the Feel the World Team Trials. Then I did the black belt Nogi Mundials. And if you're looking at tournaments in terms of prestige, right? And like supposedly where the best guys are, that's the IBJJF, right?
Correct.
So you're gonna go test yourself. So I went there to test myself, and I took third. And competition. You know, honestly, you know what I feel like has been like the biggest thing to get over, dude. I can easily learn. Like if someone teaches me something, I'm down to learn, I'm down to play with it. It's been injuries, and it's been like weird shit, like weird things. Like when I was 16, You know, Charles Gracie jumped me. That was weird. That really made me feel weird towards jiu-jitsu. About a year ago, some weird things kind of happened that I didn't like, you know, and it really kind of turned me off, you know, like I was like, wow, this is some serious bullshit, like, you know, but, you know, I just, what that taught me is that I just got to get better at mentally, like, guarding myself. I just got to get better at mentally guarding myself and just know that really anything can happen. Really anything can happen. And don't be surprised if people, like, leave you or people betray you or if some people act like they got your back, but they really, you know. You just got to be careful, man. You just got to be careful. You got to be careful. You never know what relationship, you know. So for me, it's really just injuries and just bullshit. It's injuries and bullshit. That's what I would categorize that. Because I can learn and I can lose and I can come back. I've already shown that too. Like I can lose and I can come back. I've already shown that. And I can hurt and I can get hurt and I can come back. I've already shown that too. But it's the injuries should drop. You know, because after a while, when you get so deep in this, like I am, right? This is your life. You get up in the morning, dude. You know what your day looks like. You're gonna get up, gotta do a little yoga, a little meditation. You gotta meditate. If you're listening, you want some shit that's gonna help you meditate. Here's what I recommend you do. You yoga, and I'm not just saying I do yoga. I'm saying that because I've tried a lot of. Tried a lot. All yoga is good, but like if physical yoga, that's not enough. You need something that's gonna mind because you want to do like breathing exercise and you want to do the physical exercise just to prepare your mind, just to sit there, just to go as deep as possible, so you can get the powerful experience within. You know what I'm saying? So you get that powerful experience. So when you come out of that, you know you're ready to go. You're ready to tackle today's challenges because you don't know what life's gonna throw you, but you know that you're ready. You know that you're ready. You know that you mentally prepared yourself for the day. You know, because you never know. You might go into battle that day. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well, I hope the friggin', bullshit stops between injuries and uh, whatever else was happening. I hope you have a healthy rest of the season and hopefully a super strong 2014 at black belt. There's still a couple months, obviously like a half year left for this year. So hopefully, the tides start to turn for you and we get to see you compete more because you always bring a great, uh, you know, high level jiu-jitsu and really, really fun matches to watch. So unfortunately, we're out of time and it was a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks for taking time out of your day and talking with myself and Jerrell.
For sure, man. And, thank you guys for having me on the podcast. I really appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for listening. And, just really quickly, I just want to say something.
Go ahead.
Even though I've been through injuries, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I'm just giving it for what it is. Even though I've been through injuries and I've been through bullshit drama, I appreciate all of it. I appreciate it because I see that it's necessary. So I'm not, like, I didn't mean that in, like, a negative way. I'm actually happy that this happened. I'm actually happy that I went through these injuries and all that stuff because it makes me who I am, and I'm happy with that. So I'm just for the record, I'm not complaining, and, like, I appreciate all this. Like, for example, I appreciate that, like, in an hour I'm going to be teaching. I appreciate that I'm on this podcast right now, and I appreciate that I love what I can do. So I hope I didn't come off like I'm complaining. I'm sorry if I did.
No, I don't think you were.
And thank you guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me on the podcast and letting me do
thank
my
you.
thing.
Enjoy your class.
For sure, guys. Have a good one.
Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye. Late.
All right, folks. Thank you for listening to BJJ Addict Radio. Remember to subscribe to all our YouTube channels and FightFans Radio. Follow us on Twitter. just type in FightFans Radio, BJJ Addict Radio. All our social networks will pop up. And remember, subscribe to the newsletter that we just started on BJJAddictTV.com. Next week, huge episode. It's Samuel Braga. It's Anthony Parrish, UFC fighter. He's about to fight Vinny Megla Harris. Jerr, you pumped up? Are you ready for this doubleheader?
Yo, let's do it.
I'm gonna beer and bowl you live during the show while talking to you.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, brethren.
All right, brethren. You guys know the deal.
Show locked up. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and people that listen after. Thank you very much again, and tune in next week, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We out of here, baby. That's it.
Hang tight, dudes.
All right. Peace.
Peace.